Hello everybody and welcome back to the Retro Union Collectors channel today, and today we're doing the transformation guide on HasLab Victory Saber. So we're going to do this kind of like how we did the review, and we're going to split it up into a couple different parts here. So let's go ahead and get Victory Saber split into its different parts, and we'll take it just one at a time here. Alright, so now that we have it all split up into most of its parts here, let's go ahead and start with the smaller ones, and then we can... So let's do Holly and Fire first, and then we'll do Saber and the Brainmaster, and then we'll hit Victory Leo, and then we'll hit this piece here, and then we'll combine them all into their jet modes. So let's get started. Alright, so starting with Holly and Fire here, let's go ahead and do Holly first. So to transform this little guy, it's very simple. As you will see back here, there's a little tab right there, and a little slot right there. So you just want to straighten his arms up and just push them in, and it'll just grab onto those tabs there. And then you can take this backpack and fold it on this double hinge until it all just kind of holds into place here. There is kind of like this little nub here, kind of does hold. You kind of have to pop it up and over on there. And then on his legs, there is a little tab right there that will just squeeze together. That, and then you just fold his legs back and just pop it all into place here, just like that. Very simple. So now to get him back into robot mode, you want to just fold the whole front of the vehicle back, and then this part is difficult. I haven't been able to get this to work without popping his legs off, so let's see. Maybe if we split his legs first and then just very gently try to, there we go, see? So you just straighten the legs down. That's really it. Then get his arms out. Let's see. There you go. Just get his arm out and then fold the leg down. There we go. It didn't pop off that time. I recorded that 4 times. Every time his legs would pop off. But that's it for Holly. Set him down. We can go to Fire. And Fire is pretty much just as simple. So where I like to start here is just his arms are on a little like rotating hinge up here as well as a ball joint in here. So you just rotate them back. And there is this little tiny red tab right there that will catch on this open slot here. So you just fold that back like that on both sides. Kind of get the fire hose ladder thing out of the way. Then you fold these little white pieces forward, and there's a little tab right there. Grabs on right there. Fold the legs back, and then you kind of want these white pieces to squeeze into these little gaps here. So just kind of push that all into there. And that's pretty much it. You can fold this out if you want. That. Pretty simple. And to get him back into robot mode, you fold this up, kind of get it out of the way, fold the legs down a little bit so you can get these white pieces out, like that, and then straighten the legs out, fold the white pieces back to form his heels, split the legs apart, and then just hinge the arms down. And then straighten the ladder back down. And that is it for the Micromasters. Now moving on to Saber and the Brain of Courage here. So to get the Brain of Courage out, you just want to pull this hatch door open. And then you can kind of just get him out here. I usually have to use something to kind of pry him out. He's just a little too small for my fingers to actually grab. But there he is. And then you just fold the face back. That's literally it. That is the tiny little Brain of Courage. And then to get him back into face mode, you literally just pull this back up. And that will open up this little tab here, as well as, dropped him, as well as this little tiny tab right here, if I can get that to focus. Little tiny tab right there. We'll grab onto this little hole right here. So you kind of just get this into place and push them in there. And then just close the door back up. So that's it for the Brain of Courage. And now Saber kind of has 3 modes. He has robot mode, jet mode, and combined mode. So let's go ahead and get him from robot mode to jet mode. So you do want to take the Brain of Courage out. And just set him aside. And then this piece also set aside. We can actually just fold the Brain of Courage back into his robot mode. And since we're here, just fold his head in and close this back up. You can then fold his hands in, and using this double hinge here, just kind of straighten the arm up like that and fold it down. Do that on both sides. And then there is, actually, I'll talk about that in a minute. So down here, you want to open this back hinge up like this on both sides. And then using this yellow part here, you want to just hinge this whole piece up like this. And then go ahead and close it back up. And do that on both sides. And then with these 2 big red tabs here, that will go into those slots right there. Just piece those together. You can fold his little feet up. You can also pull these down. You don't really have to do that, I just kind of like to. And then at this point, you can, there's kind of a little tiny clip right here, if you can kind of see that, that will kind of go into this hole here. But you just kind of put the hand into place there. It kind of clips into place. Not the most secure thing in the world. And then you fold the wings out. And you can straighten up the back wings here. And then you want to open this up. You can take this piece from before, and using these 2 tabs, we'll go into these 2 tabs, and the handle for the sword will just go into this hole. Just like that. And then you can take the Brain of Courage and kind of sit him down and just drop him right into there. You might need to push his little arms forward. Just drop him right into there, close that up. And that is jet mode. Pretty cool. So now to get from jet mode back to robot mode, I just pull this piece off, set it aside, open this up, get the Brain of Courage out, and put him back into his face mode. Just pulling that up, set that aside. You can close the cockpit, fold in the wings, detach the arms, and use that second hinge there to kind of get them off to the side. You can then pull the hands out. And then you can take the legs and split them apart. Fold the stabilizer wings back in. And then you want to open these hinges back out. And then I like to kind of bend him at the knee just a little bit here, just for easier clearance. And then I just kind of push right here, and that'll kind of unlock that whole piece. Just straighten that up and close this back up. So just kind of bend at the knee a little bit, unhinge this, close that back up. Then you can fold these pieces up and fold his toes out on both sides. Then you can open the hatch back up, fold the head up, grab your little Brain of Courage, put that guy right back into there, and push him in. Close this up. And then this piece is supposed to go right there. So that is it for robot and jet mode. But he does have his Victory Saber combined mode. So we can go ahead and show you that. Take this off, set that aside. That'll be used for Victory Saber's sword. So then you want to do like half of the jet mode transformation, and then it ends a little bit different. So fold the hands back in and straighten them down at the shoulders, just like that. And then at this point, and you can leave the Brain of Courage in here for combined mode. But at this point, you want to fold the toes in, fold these pieces in, and then I kind of bring the leg out a little bit and just fold it up right here. No, actually, no, we still got to do this part. So open this up and fold in at those yellow pieces again. Close it back up. Do that on both sides. And now we do this part. So you kind of want to bring the leg out just a little bit for more clearance up here and just fold the knee in backwards. You can do that on both sides. And then you can use those tabs in there again to close that up. And then now you want these yellow tabs or red tabs here will kind of grab between these little blue slots up here. So just fold them at the hips and kind of line it up like this. And there is a piece right here that you kind of have to detach. For me, it's incredibly, incredibly tight, so when I put it in robot mode, I don't actually fully push it in, but you do have to pop it out to get it to work right here. Just like that. Put his arms down. And then you want to leave the wings forward until you're ready to actually combine him. But that is it for that, and I'll show you how to put him on the rest of it when we get to that part. But that is it for his combined mode, really. Now to get him back from his combined mode back to robot mode, you can pull the arms out, pull the hands out, and then straighten the arms up again at the shoulders on both sides. And then you want to hinge this whole section out. And then you can pop this into place if you want. I'm just going to leave it kind of loose there. But you can split the legs and kind of get them off to the sides a little bit. Straighten the knees back out. And then come around to the back, open this up. And then once again, kind of push on the side and close it back up. Just like that. And then you can, make sure that's all straight inside there. There we go. Fold this piece up and fold the toes out. Just like that. And then you can take this piece again and put it right there. So that is it for Saber. And like I said, once we get to the other parts and combining it all, I'll show you how to actually put this onto Victory Saber. But that's it for Saber for now. Alright, so moving on to Victory Leo here. So he also has 4 modes. He has robot mode, lion mode, jet mode, and his combined mode. So this is robot mode here. So to get him from robot to his lion mode is fairly simple. You just want to take these pieces off on each side. And you can put them on his back right here. And you can actually put him on his back for robot mode. I do believe he shows up in the Victory show like this sometimes and with them on his arms sometimes. So this is a totally acceptable robot mode as well. But you want them there for lion mode. So now to actually get started here, what I find easiest to do here is just fold his toes in, and then come to the back, and you want to open these little hatches here. And then there is a double hinge inside of here that you just want to hinge it down on. And for me, if I push it all the way in there, I can't actually get this black tab here, this black tab down here to actually go into the slot that's right here. So I actually kind of have to pull it back out just a little bit at kind of an angle. And then when you close this up, it'll kind of grab in there a little bit better. So I'll try to show you that again. So push it in all the way and then just kind of wiggle it back up a little bit and then close that back up. And then right here, it's all black, so it's kind of hard to show, but he has these little sections here that you can pull out. These will be the lion's tails, or tail, I guess. And then there's a tab here and here, a slot here and here, tab here and here, or actually just tab here and slot there. That will all fit together right there. And then for the legs here, you're kind of supposed to bend them this way, but it gets caught on this, and there's actually like a groove in there showing you to bend it this way, but it doesn't really work for me. So I bend it the opposite way, and as you can see, that's the groove right here. I kind of just bend it the opposite way, and then pull the foot out, and then push it until it clicks. And then I kind of just push the foot forward as much as it can, and then just angle it straight. So do that again on this side. Spin this, pull this out, push it until it clicks, straighten the foot up, just like that. And then we can come up here, and at the hands, I like to pull them out about halfway, and then spin the fists so that they're facing, the fist is facing like straight, and then push them all the rest of the way in there. So do that again. Put the fist so it's facing straight. Nope, see, that's why I pull it out halfway. Put the fist so it's actually facing this way, and then flip it around, just like that. Just like that. And then you can take this little black panel here, which is kind of hard to actually pull out, but you just need to pop this down, cover his face up, and you can take these little horns and just kind of angle them down some. You can open the mouth if you really want to. There we go. And that is lion mode right there. Fairly simple. So now to go from lion mode back to robot mode, just kind of want to close the mouth up, push the horns back. The easiest way I've found to do this is kind of turn the head a little bit, that way you can kind of get, you can also pop this up, that way you can kind of get up under here to unhinge this little black piece, hook that back into place, push this up, and this little tab right here will actually go into that slot underneath the lion's mouth there. Just kind of clip that into place. Then I take the hands, fold them back, and straighten the fist. So fold this back and straighten the fist. And then down here, I spin this, if I can get it this way, get it about to that angle, and then I fold this up, and this little yellow tab will grab into that little yellow slot there, just like that. Spin it the rest of the way until it clicks into place. And like I said, I believe this little groove here has me thinking that this is supposed to spin the opposite direction, but you can't really spin it around this piece. But just do that on this side, fold this up, tab it in right there, and then spin it until it clicks right there. Come back here, open these little tabs back up, and then you can just wiggle this whole piece until it hinges forward, straighten these pieces up in here. And then you want this big tab to go into that slot. Just like that, and like that. You can split the legs, fold the tail pieces in, come around to the front, and I use my fingernail and kind of just grab that little tab there. Just this little hook here, pull the toes down. And then you can put the cannons on his arms if you want, or you can leave them back there, it doesn't really matter. But that is robot mode. So now, to do robot mode to jet mode, you want to do about half of what we just did. So come back here, open these back up, hinge them forward, and the exact same thing. I don't like to push them in all the way. I just go most of the way and then kind of hook it into place. Just like this. Clip it into place. And this time you don't want to pull the little tail pieces out. You just connect it in. And then fold the toes in. And just leave the lion legs right where they are. And then you can come up here and you can actually fold the second piece of the wings out on both sides. And then you want to take the arms and fold them up like this, and that will reveal this little black tab right here, which will grab into that little slot right there. So just bend it back, straighten the wing up, and just kind of wedge it into there. And then this will kind of make his fists act as like a landing gear of sorts. So just do that on this side, that little tab there, into that slot. Just like that. Spin the guns around. And you can pop them up just to get this a little bit easier. You want to grab this panel right here and fold this out. And then we can grab the V-lock cannon. And you're going to want to actually flip it upside down. And you're going to use this slot and this slot. And that will grab right here on these tabs and on this tab. So just kind of put it right there and right there. And then you can fold these back guns back down. And that is Victory Leo's jet mode of sorts. So now to get him back to robot mode, you just want to take off the V-lock cannon. Oop, drop it apparently. Set that aside. You can pull these back up, fold this back in, pop these back down and spin them around. Coming up to the front, you can unpeg the wings from the arms and straighten the arms down. And then fold this section back in. Come back here. Oh, and you can fold that black piece down for jet mode and fold it back up for robot mode. I kind of forgot about that. But open these tabs back up and wiggle this whole thing back straight. And then get that tab into that slot. Just like that. And just like that. Then pull the toes back out. And separate the legs. And so that is robot, lion, and jet mode. For Victory Leo's combined mode, you want to fold the toes back up. And then you want to unhook the head here, just like this. This big yellow tab kind of holds this into place. So just unhook the head and then kind of grab the lower body and use your thumbs to kind of just like split. Here, I'll do that at a side angle here. To kind of just push this whole section off like that. And that will split it into two sections. Set that aside. And then here, you want to take these little cannon things on the side are actually joints. And as you can see, that split right there. You just split it right there. and then collapse this whole section back in. And then this big tab on the side of the lion's leg will actually grab into that tab right there. Just like that. So do that on both sides. You can open that up, hinge this in, tab it into place. And this side's a lot tighter on mine. Let's see if I can do this. There we go. Here it snap. This part didn't grab right. There we go. Alright, and then same thing, this yellow tab will grab into that slot right there. Just like that. And then you can take these two sections, and I kind of grab these little white pieces and just rip this thing straight in half. So now you have 3 pieces. And then I use this little round part here to kind of grab this up and out. Fold that out on this half. And then on this half, you want to fold that out and fold this in. Then on the top here, you want to pull out the tail piece and flip up these little red pieces. Just like that. Do the same on this side. So pull out the lion's tail piece and flip up this little tab here. So that is Victory Saber's shoes. And then you take this whole section and just kind of fold the lion's head down into there. You can then spin the guns around and unhook them, pull them straight up. You can then pull this section down, and you kind of want to push it back like this, just until you get it clipped on to Victory Saber. Fold the wings back out, like so. And then fold the arms just like in jet mode. You want to tab that black tab into that white slot. Just like that. Do that on both sides. And that is the 3 pieces for Victory Leo for Victory Saber combined mode. And once again, I'll show you how to clip this all together later on when we get to combining all of it. But to get him back from his 3 combined pieces back to robot mode, you can fold this tab back up. You can peg this red tab will go into that white slot, and then just spin the guns back up. Come around to the front, unhook the arm from the wings, straighten the arm down, and fold the wing back in. Do that on both sides. And then lift the lion head up all the way. There is a double hinge here, so you want to pull it up all the way. Set that aside. And you can put the guns on the wrists, it doesn't really matter. Take Victory Saber's shoes, fold that red piece in, and the black lion tail piece in. Fold that in on both sides. You can then, on this side, you just fold the foot down, but on this side, you pull this tab back out and put the foot back in. And then you can take these 2 sections and tab them back together, just like that. And then you can wiggle these pieces apart, clip them back into place down here, just like that. Open these up and extend the legs, tabbing this back into place on both sides, just like that, and then pull his feet out like that. And then on the back here, there's this big circle as well as these 2 sliding slots on both sides that will grab this circle and these tabs on these sides. So you kind of just line it up in there and push it together. It goes in fairly tight. And then this yellow hook part up here will grab onto these pieces right here to just totally solidify the connection there. And that is Victory Leo in all of his modes. Alright, so now moving on to this chunk here. This kind of, it doesn't really have its own robot mode, and it doesn't really have its own jet mode, but it does have a base mode that I believe I totally forgot about when doing the review. But it's I don't know, I don't really like base modes, but you just take the head, fold the faceplate up, straighten the little antennas up, and then aim them forwards. Like that. Just kind of set that aside for now. Then you can take this. I have his sword down in here. So let's just get that out of there. For his base mode, you just kind of fold the feet up like this. Fold the toe in, fold the foot in. Pop this down, fold the toe in, fold the foot in. Then you can take the arms and you want to kind of angle them this way. And then you can fold the fists in. Do that on both sides. And then using this white tab here, just open that up and hinge this whole section in. And then, so once you open that up, there's a tab here. Let's get that to focus. There's a tab here and a tab here that will lock into this gray section here. So you want that inner tab to grab into that, like that. And it'll kind of click into place there. So do that on this side. Just hinge that up and clip that into place. Straighten the arms out this way, and you can angle these little cannons up a little bit if you want. And then you literally just fold the skirt pieces up and straighten the legs out to the side, like so. And that's more or less base mode. It doesn't really like to balance or anything. You can take the shield and you can remove this section, and you can see there's a tab on either side here that will grab onto these two gray tabs here. Doesn't really like to hold, but this is the way it's supposed to go. Like I said, I don't really do base modes. They never really seem too solid to me, and it's not really wanting to hold. Just kind of like that, I suppose. It's not going to hold, so let's just pretend that's in place. Actually, let's just get rid of that. These two blue tabs here will just kind of grab on these two little smaller pieces of the helmet. Just right there. And then just pretend this is actually holding. Here, let's just do it like that. There we go. That's base mode. I really don't care for this. But that's how it goes. So let's go ahead and just take this off. Take this off. If I can get it off. There we go. And then straighten the legs back down on those really nice loud ratchet joints. Fold the skirt pieces back down. Fold the arms back down. Straighten the cannons back up. And then you can take these sections in here, open them up, and hinge this piece back out. And now you want that further white tab to go into that gray slot there. Just like that. Do that on both sides, hinge this out, tab that into place right there, and then bring the fists out. In the way I do that, I kind of just push on that black section to kind of get the hand out a little bit, pull it back out. And then you can fold the feet back out. So I just kind of fold it about halfway, fold the toe out, and then you kind of want to, I don't really like this because it's already getting wear and tear on this little section here, but you kind of just snap that up over that. It's kind of a pain to do. Pull that out. Pull that out, and then just like snap that up. And that is back into, robot mode. But this thing does have a jet mode, kind of. So let's go ahead and do that. So once again, you want to fold the fists in, open these tabs up, hinge this back in, and use that inner white tab to close that back up. Do that on both sides here. So open that up, hinge it in, close that up. And then I kind of push them to the back just for now, just for clearance. Because now we want to come down here. You can fold the skirt pieces up too. Now you want to come into here and open this section. And pretty much exactly the same as last time, like as with the arms. You just hinge this in and then close this back up. And now this big white tab here, instead of clamping onto that slot, it'll clamp onto that slot. Just like that. Do that on both sides. So open that up, hinge this in, close it back up. And here I will show you, since we're doing this jet mode, you can take this sword and drop it into either side. There's just a slot on either side. That's where it stores in vehicle mode. You can also use a fingernail to get up under here and pull out the landing gear on both sides. Make sure this all stays together here. And then fold his toes back up. So pop this down, fold this in, fold that in, pop it down, fold it in, fold it in. And then here, you want to bring the arms down, or actually, you want to, so very similar to Victory Leo in his combined mode, there is a hinge right here. So you want to bring the legs out and then pop this section down. But you want to make sure that you get this as far up as you possibly can, because that tab right there needs to go into this slot on the arm, and it will not fit if it's not popped all the way up. So I'll show you that again. Pop that over, snap that in, and then push that up as high as it can. And then here, this part's kind of tricky. So you want this blue clip to go into this section here. You want this white tab to go into this section here. Then you want the sword to go into this big gap, as well as this white tab to go into here. You have kind of have to do this all at one time. So just kind of straighten the arm down, and then clamp that in right there, and then this should kind of just align to snap into place there. It sounds a lot more complex than it really is. I'll do that from the back just so I can see a little better. So pop this all down, clamp that right there, and then tab that all in right there. You can straighten the wings out, straighten the wings up, and then hinge this piece back, and these two blue like posts will go into those red holes right there. Just like that. And that is kind of like the V-Star jet. This is mostly just a part to Victory Saber's jet mode. But that's how you do that. Now to get back to his robot, quote-unquote, mode, you want to hinge this back up into place, fold in the landing gear, fold these wings in and these wings back. You can bring the feet out, pull the toes out, and then snap it up over that again. Do that on both sides. And then here, I kind of grab this whole upper section and this whole lower section and just kind of gently push it in like that until it unpegs. And then here, I just kind of rotate, kind of got to hold it like this. Just kind of give this a little bit of a spin to kind of help you pop that out, and then just kind of hinge it off to the side. So I'll show you that on this side. Just kind of pop this all out, and then pop this out. It's kind of finicky, it's a little difficult, but then you can take this hinge here and just kind of pop it down. Get the arms to the back just for clearance. And then you can pop these sections back together, just like that. Straighten the leg back down. Do that on this side. There we go. It's not the easiest thing to show, but if it hasn't already happened, go ahead and open this little door and extend this up, and now that white tab will go into the lower slot. Just like that. Do that on this side. Open the door, hinge this up, and close that back up. There we go. Bring the arms back down and open this door. Hinge the arms down, and then now that white tab will go into, or the top white tab will go into that hole. Like I said, it's not really the easiest thing to show. It's definitely easier to actually do. Then you can fold the skirt pieces down and fold the hands out. And that is him back into his more or less robot mode. Alright, so now we've already done Saber in all of his modes, Victor Leo in all of his modes, this section and all of its modes. Now it's time to start combining them. So the way that you combine Saber into Star Saber is you want to start off with Saber in his combined mode. Then you want to take this section here, fold these gray doors out, and untab this section back here and just kind of get it out of the way. If you see this little red button here, when you push that in, see how that just moves that little red piece a little bit? That will actually go underneath this little tab here to kind of click it into place to hold it in securely. So the way you do this, you want to just make sure everything is put together right here. And I kind of like to actually just kind of wiggle the arms out just a tiny bit. So you want to take this piece, you want to grab this and push that tab in and hold it forward, and then kind of just slide this down into here. And this is the part here where you might have to wiggle the arms just a little bit to get it to go in there, right? Like that. And then once you push it into there, you'll kind of feel it lock onto this little red piece, and when you let go of it, it won't come all the way out, and he's actually locked in there. So then you can go ahead and fold this back blue section back up, and these two blue tabs will go into these two blue slots. And then, very carefully, on these gray sections, these little gray tabs here, they will actually go in, if you can kind of see this, right, let me grab something to point with. Right here, that's also red. That's not going to help. Here, his sword. right here are little slot. I don't know if you can really see that or not, but there's little slots on Saber right there that you want to kind of finagle these little gray tabs into right there. And it'll just kind of click into place. Do that on both sides here, just like that. Click it into place. And then you can fold the wings back, and you can take the helmet, and using this hole here, it'll literally just slide over Saber's head. And that is Star Saber in his combined mode. You can then take the nose cone of Saber's jet mode and the sword blade, and you can either, I kind of line it up like this and just kind of applying somewhat pressure down like this, just kind of push that down like that. You can either put it that way, or you can spin it around and just kind of wedge it in that way. I prefer the look of it going this way. But that is his sword. You can just slide that right into there. And that is Star Saber. But now to take him back apart, you want to take this off, separate the blade, because this is part of Saber. And then the way I do this is I just take the helmet off, fold the wings forward, and then I just very lightly separate the gray piece right there and just kind of fold it out. Do that on both sides. Then you want to open this blue section and push that red button in. And if you saw that, it kind of let him loose there. You just slide him up and out, just like that. And that is how you separate these two. Alright, so now taking the 3 combined mode pieces of Victory Leo and Star Saber combined up, we can actually get him combined into Victory Saber here. Forgot to fold these parts out. So make sure that these are all folded out here. And so on Victory Leo here, the parts with the gold, go ahead and drop it. The parts with the gold you want facing out. So you can take Star Saber and pop the feet down, fold the toe in, and fold the rest of the foot in. And then with this little clip here will actually clip right here, just like that. And then the lion tail piece will clip over this little gray toe section there. So we can go ahead and do that on this side now. So pop this down, fold it in, and fold it in. Take this, and the red piece will clamp onto this, just like that, and fold the toe piece up. There is his shoes. Go ahead and zoom out just a tiny bit. And then on his back here, you want to take this whole section, and you want to make sure that this piece is folded back a little bit. And you're going to take this whole piece here, this little gray tab will go into that hole, and these 2 little hooks will clamp over this. So let's see here. It's kind of finagly. So you kind of just want to line it up as best as you can and just squeeze it in there like that. And then once you get that on, you will see this little blue tab right here, or blue slot right there. That white tab will actually go into there to totally lock that into place. And then up here, you'll see there are 2 little red tabs. There's one on each side. They will kind of just go over that blue section to kind of just lock this whole thing into place here. And that is Victory Saber in his combined robot mode. very, very impressive looking. So now, to get Victory Leo back off, you want to come here. You can zoom back into normal. You can pull this section back off and just rip this whole piece off. Fold the toe back out. Pop it up into place. Do the same on this side, so unpop that, and fold the toe out, fold this out, pop it up, just like that. Then on the back here, you can untab this little section. Just kind of put it out of the way for now. You can unhook the guns up here. And then just grab this whole piece here. I kind of like to get my finger up under here to just kind of help just pop this whole section off. And you are back with Star Saber. So it's been a long one so far, but that is all of the robot modes done. So let's go ahead and get them all into their jet modes, and I'll show you how to combine all those. Alright, so we're almost done. So get them all back into their jet modes now. Now to start combining their jet modes, you want to take Saber and you want to fold his back wings down. And I'm not actually going to tab this in correctly because the first and only time I've ever tabbed it in correctly, I chipped the gold paint right there. And I'm like terrified of that actually happening. But there are two big tabs right here. And if you take this section, there are two big blue tabs right there. So you want to kind of push that red button right here in. You kind of want to wedge this into here. And then you would push this up really firmly to clamp it into place. But I have found that if you don't clamp it into place, if you just wedge it in the right way with that little button, it will actually hold rather securely. You don't have to clamp it into place. I would actually recommend you don't snap this into place, or else you risk damaging that gold paint there. But that's really it. You just kind of push it into there. I like to push these in to just kind of hold it a little bit more securely, and then fold his wings up. Then you can take the head, fold the faceplate up and the antennas down, and it just slides over this whole piece right here. And it clips into place right there. So that is Saber and the V-Star jet combined. So that is like Star Saber's jet mode. But you can actually combine this even further, and you can lift this whole section up. And we can take Victory Leo in his jet mode, remove the V-Star or the V-Lock cannon, set that aside for now. And in here, let's set this down. You'll see these two tabs on the side that were used for the feet in combined mode. Get these out of the way. These two here will slide in between these sections right here, and we'll tab into those white slots right there. So you want to kind of line this up right here with those, as you see there, you can slide them in right there. It's not really wanting to focus, but you can slide it in right here. You kind of have to kind of bend. This is hard to show. You kind of have to, nah, not like that, not like that. Tab that all back together. Oh, there we go. You kind of do want to put some outward pressure on these going that way, just a tiny bit to get this to fit. So just set this into place and just very gently slide it down into there. And you'll know when it's slid down in far enough because it'll kind of pop into place there. Just like that. And then using these two big red clamps, these two black or blue posts will slide into there. So you want to kind of get these two blue posts into these, as well as these two blue posts into these. And it's kind of a pain to do. You really gotta push it into there, but it will lock. Then you can rotate the guns forward. You can then, oop, that came undone. You can then take the shield and remove the handle and flip it this way so that the Autobot symbols line up. And this little blue post right here will go into this front hole right there. Just like that. And you'll actually see there's some little grooves on here that kind of line it all up. So just kind of push that into place. And then you can take the V-lock cannon, push this down, and this will reveal this clip here. And this clip will go over this gray section right here. So just kind of clamp that into place. It's a little bit harder to do than it seems. There's actually a hole in there too that will grab onto that gray post. Let's see here. Ugh, just like that. And that is the fully combined jet mode. And holy cow, that was a long video. But let's go ahead and get him all disassembled real quick. Alright, so that video was massively long. And I'm going to make this outro short because I only have 6 minutes left of storage to record. So I'll just want to thank you guys for liking, commenting, and subscribing, all that fun stuff. We've been getting a lot of subscribers lately, a lot of comments. We even got our first patron. So speaking of that, I want to give a massive thumbs up to Mega Doomer, the first patron. If you want a shout out or if you want to request a review on a specific figure, make sure to check out the Patreon down in the description. But all that being said, I really hope that guide helped you out. I hope it wasn't too painfully long to watch. And I really hope you guys have a good night and stick around for more videos coming soon.